Hi again. So in this video I am going to talk about a special file called package.json file. So what we are going to do, we are going to kickstart a new web application project, and we want to do it step by step. So as a first step, we want to create our app with some metadata or some kind of configuration information, and want to make it more meaningful along the way we develop our application. So in this particular session, I'm going to make you familiar with the package.json file and what are the aspects that you can see or you can take care inside that file, right? So to get started, what exactly the package.json file is? Package.json file is nothing but a metadata file which you define for your module or your web application, and you can basically define your web application's dependencies, development dependencies, runtime dependencies, and you can spawn a server using that file configuration. You can tell which port the server should run at, what is your web application context that it should run, how to run the test, basically the unit testing, whatnot, everything. So let's start by creating this file for your application and start see the power of that. In one of my earlier recording, I have showed you how to install Node and npm, and I'm going to use the power of Node package manager npm to initialize my first project. So to do that, I start with this command npm init. So this is a utility which walk you through creating the package.json file, and let's do it. So the name is my first app. Okay, it can only contain URL friendly characters, it means no space. Fair enough. My first app. Okay, another restriction, it cannot contain the caps. Alright, I'm set. So my first app, version, description, this is my first web app. Entry point, yeah, let's create an index.js test command. At this point, let's skip it. Git repository, if you have one, let's give it. So let me give a git repository that I have, and I copy it from here and going to paste it. Keywords, okay, I would like to create an AngularJS project, so let's say Angular. Author, make it MIT, and just quickly view whatever you've given is fine. Yeah, it looks good. So let's create it. Now if I see, I'll see a package.json got created over here, right? And if I go to the package.json, what I get to see, the file looks exactly like this. So these are all metadata information to get started with my project, right? Now that's not enough. To run a project, to code on a project, I need associated libraries, I need all development dependencies. And how do we get that? How this file is going to help me, right? So let's try to see one of those factors in this recording, and subsequently more advanced aspect in the other recordings. I told that I am going to get started with an AngularJS based project, right? So I need to install Angular. How do I get it? Again, use Node package manager, say install. If you run the command with -g switch, it means it install the library globally. If you don't run with -g command, it installed locally only for this particular folder, and I say Angular. So I do npm install Angular. What it does is going to install Angular, and it installed Angular version 1.6.2. Now if I do ll, I see one more folder that came up here is called node underscore modules. So this node underscore modules is a folder inside which all my libraries will be listed. So if I see, the library Angular is already listed, and inside Angular I have angular.js file which I can include in my HTML and start coding Angular, right? So what happened to our package.json? What changes came inside the package.json file? If you notice, if I scroll up a little bit, the package.json was name, version, description, main file, scripts, test, we didn't do anything, repository, keyword, author, license, homepage, etc. Now let me see the package.json one more time. Do you see any difference in package.json file yet? No, because I have installed Angular, but I have not asked to add the definition of AngularJS file into this particular file. How do we do that? Again, the same command. While you installing AngularJS, you just need to do save dev, and once you install AngularJS install, now you see package.json file, you will see a dev dependencies called AngularJS got added, right? So like this, if you need any other library, so for example npm install d3 and then -- save dev, and let's see what it does. It's going to pull down d3 or not. I guess it will be, and once it does the d3 installation, I should be able to see it in my package.json. So d3 comes up with bunch of libraries. It has done. So if I go over node underscore modules, I get to see a d3 has come in, right? So that's how I manage my package. That is what exactly the node package manager does for me. Now let me go to the file package.json again and see d3 has been added with the version 4.6.0 over here, right? So this is how I can keep installing the all dependent libraries for my project or product need, and that builds up my package.json. One of the greatest advantage of package.json would be anybody can now just take this file package.json and they can start using this metadata information straight away. So what you have seen, I have just done npm install AngularJS, npm install d3. If I have 50 such libraries required for my application and I have built up a package.json, anybody else can take up that package.json and install those libraries just using one command. Let me show you how. So I copy package.json into the parent folder. So I have package.json over here. You see over here package.json. I create a directory called test, and I move this version of package.json under test. If I go under test, I have this package.json, and I'll clear my screen and do a vi of this. It is nothing but my old package.json which is having Angular and d3. So what I do basically, just npm install, that's all. I wrote the command incorrectly, so npm install, and it just should install the stuff. Let me just figure it out. Okay, so I'm started installing. I guess nothing but I did a typo over there. I didn't type the T, so I did it correctly. So what it does is basically it is reading into the package.json file and started downloading all my dependencies. So if I see, this will look exactly same like my previous project where I have things downloaded over here. So this is the power of using package.json, the meta file, which you can incrementally build for your application and kind of reuse maybe for other applications as well. So hope you like the session. In the next session we will build one small Angular application starting with this package.json, and we'll see that how quickly we can build that application for you. Thank you very much.